Hey there, family. It is Thursday, January 23rd. Came home from work and I really wanted to continue working on a project that I was working on for you all, but unfortunately, because of the weather, I am unable to continue that project. But anyways, I have something that I would like to share with you. First of all, when I started growing this vegetable, I was not 100% successful, and then I tried again, and the result that I am getting, guys, it's beyond what I have expected, honestly. And so I figured, since I am not able to continue the project, I might as well show you how I grow my mustard greens successfully after trying miserably for the very first time. But before I get into the video, guys, I want to give a shout out to Miss Robin Wilkerson. Yes, guys, she's one of my subscribers that I met on my way to work this morning. As soon as I went on the bus, she was like, "Oh, great good girl." In my mind, I was like, somebody knows me. And she said, "I watch your videos every morning." So Miss Robin Wilkerson, thank you so much for your continued support. And for my driver, Miss Shanna Davis, who is a potential subscriber. I don't know if you have subscribed yet, but I know you're going to do that very soon. So Miss Robin Wilkerson and Shanna Davis, this is a shout out to you to let you know that I appreciate you very much. And for my newest subscribers, oh my gosh. Guys, I mean, it's cold over here, but whenever I see your all comments, it brings so much warmth to my soul. Telling you the truth. Makes me so happy to know that you're all enjoying the content. All right, guys, so let me get into the video right now, because I am not sure if the rain is going to come down heavier. And trust me, these two little layers of clothes that I am wearing, it is not going to keep me warm for a very long time. And y'all know I cannot manage the cold. I am a Jew girl, you know. I was born in a tropical country, that's Jamaica, and my bones is like sunshine bones, so I can't manage a cold. Anyway, so let me go ahead and show you one of the first mustard that I grew and what it's looking like. And we will be talking a little bit about mustard greens. There are a few varieties, but I'm going to red giant one. All right, so let's get into the video. Ooh. All right, guys, the rain is coming down, so this is one of the first mustard that I planted. I'm not sure if I can find the video when I was harvesting the mustards from my cinder blocks, and I transplanted them here, hoping that they would actually do better here, but nope, they didn't do any good at all here. So obviously, the first thing that I have to say about the mustards is that they do not like to be transplanted. So if you're going to grow mustard, guys, wherever you want to plant them, in containers or in the ground, just put them in their forever homes and do not transplant them. The mustards do not like to be transplanted. And here is another one that I transplanted as well. I think I picked a few leaves from this one yesterday. So I left one single leaf for it to regrow. But before I transplanted it, it was looking so nice, and then I noticed it was not growing at the rate of how it was growing before it was transplanted. All right, guys, so let's talk a little about these beautiful giant red mustard greens that I have growing here. Mustard greens, they are very, very easy to grow, I must say. And they are a cool season vegetable that can be grown from spring to fall. It is said that they grow well in fertile soil with a lot of sun. However, from what I can recall, they do well in a lot of shade, because in this area where they're growing, there's not a lot of sunshine in this area. And I recently showed you guys some crops that can tolerate a lot of shade and a little bit of sun. So the mustard was on the list of those things that I was talking about. Now, if you are planning on growing mustards for spring, the seeds have to be sown 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost. And for fall, the seeds must be sown 6 to 8 weeks before the first frost. So you're going to sow the seeds 1/2 inch deep. But when it comes to spacing, it's all going to depend on your preference, guys, because if you can look closely, in this container right here, spacing was not a priority for me, because I was planning on growing a more dense, I am growing a more dense garden this year. So companion planting, like experimenting with different type of crops together, is something that I am going to be doing throughout the rest of this year by the grace of God. So if you want to harvest your mustard greens like this, having big leaves, you're going to leave them in the container in the area where you're going to plant them and let them be. If not, you can sow the seeds closer together and let them, as soon as they sprout or get maybe about say like 2 to 3 inches big, you can actually harvest those leaves as microgreens, or I would say baby mustard leaves. I'm not sure if I can find one to show you right now. I am going to look to see if any is in there. All right, so here is 2 leaf, and I would say you can actually harvest them as small as this or a little bigger like this one. Okay, so when it comes to caring of the mustard greens, I am going to tell you how I got these to be so big without any pest at all. So as I showed you earlier, guys, when I first planted the mustard greens, they were growing very good until I decided to take them out and put them somewhere else. I really and truly thought that the area where I put the mustard greens, they were going to do well there, but that area actually had a lot of sun. All right, so remember, if you're going to grow your mustards, they can tolerate a little sun, but they really and truly prefer the shade. So what I did, I allowed them to stay in the area where they were originally planted, and I planted with them some different varieties of kales. I planted some bok choys. I have some garlic down in there. I think I even planted some zinnias down in there. See the bok choy, zinnias still coming up, because the mustard seeds, they got so big, they're now crowding out the bok choy, the garlic, and the zinnias. So these are actually overpowering the other vegetables that is down in there. And look, guys, look how big and clean the leaves are. Look at this one. No, I really have to show you guys. Look at the size of this one. Look. So this is the palm of my hand, right? And this is my mustard greens. And I know this is not a mustard green. This is a mustard red. You know, I don't know why they call it mustard greens. Hey, I can't ever get this leaf to stand up straight to measure the full size of my hand. But y'all get the picture, guys. It is bigger than my hand. Bigger than my hand. So the secret to growing your big giant mustard greens is to plant them in their forever spot or containers where you are going to grow them, and do not transplant them. Another thing I did, I ensured that I mulched the area. So I cut my banana leaves, the dried ones, and I mulched this container, and I mulched this one as well. So this is a container that I have been eating from on a regular basis, because if you can look closely, guys, this one is scantier than the one I just showed you. And honestly, as I did mention in one of the videos, because they're looking so beautiful, I don't even want to eat them. They look like they're artificial. Look at these black magic kale. Y'all remember that I harvested some leaves from this, and look at them, how they're growing. No pests at all. No pest. Well, they said to knock on board, but I'm going to knock on leaf. All right. So this is my first pest control for the kale. Is to do it manually. So you're going to come out and check on your plants on a regular basis to ensure that the pest is not enjoying them before you do. And growing up, well, I'm not gonna say as a little girl, just growing up in general, I always hear them say that if ants don't eat your food, it's poisonous and it's not good. So whenever you see insects partaking of your leaves, that means it's good. Don't worry about it. All you have to do is just to take off the leaves that they chewed on, and you can just drop it right back down in there to be compost. So I interplanted the mustard with zinnias, as I said, more kale, peppers, and all sort of stuff. So this proves that companion planting is one of the best thing you can actually do for some of your plants. Yes, they do well together. It's like they encourage each other. Look at the kale, guys. If you could ever feel the leaf, the texture of this leaf, oh my word, it's feeling so nice. The garlic is down in there growing. Everything is just looking so lush, nice, and green. So guys, since I was just talking about pest control, I am going to inform you of some of the pests that you can look out for on your mustard greens. I do not have any now, but for future reference, you can look for insects such as aphids, cutworms, cabbage loopers, cabbage worms, flea beetles, leaf miners, root maggots, slugs, and thrips. So you have to look out for those pests, guys. And I always hear this saying when I was growing up as a girl: prevention is better than cure. So it is better if we check on our plants on a regular basis, not just the mustard greens, but whatever we grow in the garden, to prevent the pests from spreading or taking over the garden. Because trust me, it's harder to get rid of them than to stop them or nip it in the bud or stop them from multiplying. Okay? Now, y'all might be wondering, how often do I fertilize these plants? And you might not believe it when I tell you. Honestly speaking, for the mustard greens, I can recall fertilizing them a few times. I don't think I have done it like 4 times, but all I used was some good old potassium water. And this is simply made with banana peels and water. Now, for our plants to thrive and get this big, they do need nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Okay? So I added a lot of kitchen scraps in there with like onion peels and other things that did contain the nitrogen and the phosphorus. And in addition, I used the potassium water, which is made from the banana peels, and water them about 3 times, as I said. And the rest is just history. So now the roots are growing deeper. I believe they're sucking up all of the other nutrients from the kitchen scraps that was planted in there. And then the companion planting, everything communicating, and they, they're saying, hey, give me some of this, you give me some of that. So they are having their own conversation in there, and they're just doing their thing. Hence, they are one big happy family. Look at them, guys. Don't they look happy to you? This is what I call one big happy family. Look at them. Yes. They do like companionship. Oh my goodness gracious. And guys, the plants that is in there, I intentionally planted them because they are good companions for the mustard greens. So this is kale. I have some bok choy, and I have some peppers somewhere down in there, and some flowers, some zinnias. So guys, with all of that said, it is now time for me to harvest the fruit of my labor. And I am only going to be getting a few of the leaves because I don't want to harvest everything, take it inside, and then I don't eat it. And you know what I noticed, guys? A few weeks ago I harvested some of the greens to make a salad, right? And to tell you the truth, I ate some last night and I think I prefer them raw. I chew them better. They have a crunchier taste to me, and they are just more delicious to me raw. I am not telling you that you have to eat them raw. It all depends on your preference. You eat them the way you like them. All right, let me grab some from over here. So this is going to be my dinner with some vegetable soup. Hi, son. All right, guys, so I have now come to the end of today's video. It's time for show and tell. So here are my big, beautiful, pest-free mustard greens. So guys, if you have not yet tried growing mustard greens, you can now go ahead and try them. And remember, they do not like to be transplanted. Wherever you're going to grow them, just plant them in their forever homes. You can plant them in your half of 55-gallon barrels, your stackable planters, your bottles, whatever you have. You can grow your mustard greens because they do not have a very big root system. I can guarantee you that they can be grown anywhere in the world, any time of the year. As long as you have a cool spot in your yard or your garden, you can grow your mustard greens all year round. Okay, so once again, if this is your first time here, this is the Glazed Garden Girl. Guys, my hands, they're like frozen. I can hardly feel them. This is the Glazed Garden Girl over here in Zone 10, Florida. Remember to comment, like, share it, everybody. Just share, just hit the just share it with everybody, all right? Yeah, so they can be a part of this big, wonderful, beautiful diaspora of gardening. All right, guys, I need to get out of this cold because I'm literally freezing. It was like 49 degrees this morning when I was going to work. I'm not sure how cold it is right now, but it might as well just snow because it's raining and it's cold. So honestly, even 5 seconds of snow, I would really appreciate it. I'm not gonna be out in here. Thanks for your continued support, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye. I just can't give up now. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy, but I don't believe it's brought me this far. I don't believe it's brought me this far. I don't believe it's brought me this far to leave me. Yeah. It's so beautiful. Ooh, so beautiful.